Hello, I'm ABX Toycat and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 things I'd like to see in the next update for Minecraft Xbox and Minecraft PlayStation. And the reason I'm making this video is because most people, when they have suggestions, it's usually just insert PC feature here. So they're like, oh, I'd love to see Guardians on the console. And although that is kind of useful, we do know we're going to get most PC features at some point on the console. However, there's a lot of small changes to the game that could be made to make the game a lot better for certain groups of people that I think would be definitely worth their time. And since we're in that perfect phase of an update where they're still, thinking about what they're going to put in it, I figured this would be the perfect time to make the video and maybe have 4J see it, and then maybe at least put the ideas in their mind. So that's what I'm going to be doing in today's video. Please do like it if you do like it. It helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like it. And also maybe send it to 4J too, and maybe they see it, and that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, let's get straight into it already, and let's start with idea number 1, which is going to have to be updating the control scheme. So the control scheme has remained largely the same since the game came out on the 360 3 years ago now, with the one exception being they added sprint, because if you think about it, the PC has a few buttons we don't have access to that could really improve the game. So if you think about, on the PC, if you hold down control, that will actually just be a sprint key as opposed to having to double tap W. And on the controller, this would be so handy because since the left stick is analog, if you go a tiny degree to the left or right, it stops you sprinting. And this can be so frustrating in PvP. So just having a button on the controller to actually make that automatic would be so much easier. Or like they could make a new control scheme where this is left bumper and then play around the screen. There's a bunch of different ways they could do this, but also adding a pick block key, because on the PC, if you press your middle, your scroll wheel down, you'll actually, pick whatever blocks in front of you and add it to your creative inventory, if you're in creative that is, which is a really, really nice little thing. And, these two keys alone, just one for survival, one for creative, could be really nice and make both those groups of players a lot happier. You might be thinking, Toycat, the controller's already so full, how could they do this? The D-pad is entirely free right now. And although you might think having, left on the D-pad being sprint all the time or down on the D-pad might not make too much sense, you could always just have new control schemes that work better for this. So if you think about maybe having the D-pad being move along the, the hotbar at the bottom, then have the left bumper be the key for sprint and the right bumper be the one for pick block, you could make it happen easily like that. And I just really would like to see the controls updated because, the sprint key thing frustrates me a lot, but pick block would just be a nice thing for builders in my opinion. So yeah, updating the control schemes would be pretty nice. Second of all, my second idea would have to be adding placeable mob spawners into the console. This is a pocket edition feature because basically on the PC you can always add commands if you want to place mob spawners. On the consoles we can't do anything. You have to mod your game, and I don't really like that whole thing because it means only a very small group of players can actually place mob spawners. But for some maps you want to have a mob spawner. It makes the map cooler, and even in the the maps that 4J have made, they've used mob spawners for pretty cool effects. So if they make placeable mob spawners, it would make the custom map potential a lot better, and really just allows people to use more creativity, which is what Minecraft's all about. So, Placeable Mob Spawners, it's a simple one, and it comes from the Pocket Edition, but it is a really nice one for certain players. So, next up, this is going to be a big one, because it was promised when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, but basically a bigger multiplayer. So, this was in the trailer, of course, and I know they're probably working on it at some extent, but it has been a year now since both those games came out, and we still haven't heard anything about it. Maybe just an update saying, oh yeah, we're still working on that, we expect it to come out in the next few months, or maybe, it take a year, or whatever it is, but I'd like to hear some update on bigger multiplayer, because 8 players can be really constricting. I know for a lot of players it's not, but for some players, if you want to do something cool with PvP, 8 players just isn't enough, and maybe they're just improving the netcode to actually let the players play, because, right now if you play multiplayer, it can get really laggy really quickly. Maybe they're improving that first, but either way, I'd like to see some update or something on where bigger multiplayer is, because it's one of those cool features to me that can allow you to do so many cool options. Maybe they're waiting for Realms to come out, but either way, I'd like to hear what's going on there, because bigger multiplayer was kind of a promised feature, and I'm just so excited for it. So, next up will have to be more host options. This is one of the really cool ways that they can add PC features to an update, but then also add their own kind of, console flair to it that allows you to do so much more, and again, unlocks more creativity for the consoles, and just a few ones I can suggest for host options. I'm sure there's much more, but being able to change your difficulty in survival. This shouldn't have to be a host option per se. It should be one that's activated even when host privileges are off, because currently you can't change difficulty in survival without, making your world creative-like, which is kind of a shame. Like, sometimes if you want to switch from peaceful, you don't have to leave the game and go back in, which because you can currently do it, it's just really inconvenient. So I don't know if that's a bug or if they have a purpose intent there, but being able to change difficulty in survival Also, being able to change PvP on and off. Right now, you have to leave the game, turn it off, turn it on, and then go back in. Being able to change that in the game. So yeah, more host options. Those are just a few ideas I have. I'm sure there's a lot more out there, and there's a lot of very cool ones that every time you add one, it, kind of increases the amount of creativity we have, which again, that's what Minecraft's all about, and that's why I love it. So, the final idea I have here is a big one that a lot of you asked for, and I kind of get why it's not in the game, but that is hardcore mode. So, hardcore mode, if you don't know, is the PC game mode where you're on hard difficulty, but the twist is when you die, you have to delete the world. So there's a few reasons I could see this not being on console. The first one is, you could easily just exit without saving and then kind of ignore the death in hardcore, but you could just force them, make the world have a delete flag, which automatically saves on there maybe. Also, the second reason I could see is if you play in multiplayer, when the host dies, what happens to the world? Does everyone else lose it too? If someone else dies on the world, do they lose the host world? There's questions you'd have to answer, but I think if you just set up a, proper set of rules that everyone follows, then, even if some people don't play it, it'd be really cool to play, 4-person hardcore, where when people die, they have to leave the world forever, and just do something cool like that, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'd love to see hardcore mode. Maybe it'd have to come with, a realms or server opportunity, so that you don't have to have one player own the world, but I would really, really love the idea of, playing hardcore with your friends, and when a friend dies, they leave or something. I think there's just so many cool possibilities. So yeah, hardcore mode is going to have to be number 5. Those are 5 ideas I have for the next update. New buttons and new control schemes, placeable mob spawners, bigger multiplayer, new host options, and hardcore mode. Like I said, they're reasonably easy to put in there compared to, just brand new features like the water monument and guardian stuff. And I think, adding those things would really help people out in a big way. So those are my suggestions for the next update. Let me know about yours down below. Hopefully 4J does see this video at some point. That'd be really nice, and if they do, then of course they'll be checking the comments, seeing what you have to say about this, but I hope you did enjoy the video in general. Please do like it if you did like it, share it if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!